All right, we back with another one. Today we got Mr. Nelson of NCG Reptiles. Nelson, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yep, I'm Nelson from NCG Reptiles. Just here, man, loving the gecko life, I guess.
Uh,
You know?
don't we all, right?
Yeah.
All
Well,
right, so go ahead and
well,
introduce your. How'd you get into the hobby?
Oh man. Um, we're gonna have to sit down here for a couple hours if you really want me to let
give
you
us the
know
rundown.
exactly. All right,
Oh,
so I'll do the whole like we always do, man. It always you start off as a kid, man. And I have to attribute this to my dad mostly because he was really open to all these things. That's why I'm really trying to get my kids involved in the reptile industry because I grew up in it, and I think that's a good thing for to raise a new generation of people that are going to take care of us. The laws and the legislation and stuff like that. Want to make sure that we can keep our animals and our pets. But before I go on a tangent, I'm gonna try to stay focused here. Um, yeah, as a kid, I had a lot of reptiles. My dad was really cool. We had not a reptile store not too far from us, uh, uh, and we had snakes, mostly snakes. He was a snake guy, so we had a lot of snakes growing up, and then some lizards and some monitors and stuff like that. And one of the funniest stories, one of my earliest stories that I can remember as a kid is I asked my dad for a lizard, and so we went to the pet store and we picked up a an iguana, just a regular green iguana, man. They were a dime a dozen back then, and I cleared
mhm.
out
Oh
my
yeah, they
closet.
still are.
I cleared out my closet in my bedroom as a kid, and I made my closet the iguana house. And
Oh,
so I had that thing living in my closet. I mean, I had the heat lamps in there. I had like little trees. The closet wasn't big. It was like a 3 by 3 closet. Um, but it was really tall. It was like 8 foot tall closet. So I remember the iguana living in there for a long time. And then I had a 55-gallon tank with a boa constrictor in there. So my room was like there was more animals in my room than toys. So I just
okay.
always had reptiles, man. Just something that I loved my whole life, and ended up
Nice.
working at a pet shop. I worked at a pet shop throughout high school. Um, that was really interesting, and we did some pond builds too. So he was early on. He was like the guy who I worked for. He was really he had his stuff together. Like he had ideas that flourished. He if he would have just kept with it, things happen and life happens. He couldn't. He ended up closing the uh, the the pet store down, but I think he was on to other bigger stuff at that time. But he was touching on things that people now are expanding on, and I was like, wow, if I would have just kept with it, I think that things would have been a little bit different. But I'm happy how things turned out for sure. So
Yeah,
it's good.
Nice.
Yeah,
you're doing incredible things, man. You're
yeah,
probably one of the humble people. I mean, you spew knowledge. I mean, and you share the way you do it for the hobby. You're no type of gatekeeper when you're importing stuff from Korea. When you're, I mean, you just. I mean, you can tell, man. You're a teacher, and it's a
yeah.
beautiful thing to hobby, man, when we're full of know-it-alls and done-it-all people. It's nice to see someone that's openly willing to learn, to kick ideas around, to try new species, experiment with things that people aren't. I mean, you test the waters, man. You stepped out on a
Yeah.
limb. You're one of the first people to order from Korea, man, but from fetal.
You
I,
you want to know something? I
Yep.
am the first person. Literally, I was. I think I was, and I had to share it with everybody
Oh
because I
man.
reached out to a lot of people. Believe it or not, I was like, "Hey, have you ever imported?" And it was like no one wanted to tell you anything. It was all these secret. I was like, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to hold the secrets. And I knew that it'd be possible that because it was so secretive, how to get these wonderful animals for such a great price. And if it worked out that this was going to blow up, I knew some people probably wouldn't be too happy with that situation. But I think it
and they're
overall
not.
helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the hobby
So
will grow. If you open up the
yeah,
doors,
I do have a question.
especially.
Why do you
Go ahead.
So why do you think it's so cheap? Like, why do you think those prices are so good over on fetal compared to getting them over here in the States.
Well, I
Because I've
talked to
looked
those guys.
on the website.
Yeah, I talked to them a lot.
Yeah,
You know
go
what?
ahead.
I think a lot has to do with everything's smaller out there. You know, they have smaller facilities and smaller
Hmm.
um areas. You know, it's not like here in the US, you know, the whole country of Korea is like the size of one state in the United States. So
Mm.
they don't have a lot of
Yeah,
room for everything. So I'm guessing that it sounds like they can produce a lot, but they need to move a lot at the same time. It's not like
yeah.
they
So
have
they can
giant
move
facilities
real a
where they
lot
could keep.
faster.
Yeah, so when they're producing, it sounds like, you know what, they're making these animals, and they're making really nice animals, and but they also have to move them, you know, because I think it
Okay.
has a lot to do with space. That's my
Okay.
impression. It's like they have all these
Yeah.
animals, they got to get them out, you know, and the market,
Yeah.
it wants these. They know what the market wants. They study the market. Those
Oh yeah.
guys
Yeah.
know that people want these fraps and these sables and these you know, these caps, and they do very well, you know, and they have
Yeah.
beautiful animals, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
Pack
that's
genes,
why. Yeah.
animals for you. They're all double, triple gene animals, man.
Hmm. They're like
They're
ahead of
we're
us.
trying.
Yeah. And that's a scary thing. Like you keep trying to keep up, you know, you keep up with the Joneses, man. It's impossible. You know, you can't, you know, it's
Yeah.
you get the nicest animal today, tomorrow you're like, whoa, where did that come from? You're like, it's
Yeah.
hard. But you know, I
Yeah.
have this idea is like if you can hone down on your own kind of your own look, you know, that's what I feel like you and
Yeah.
Anthony, that's something that you're doing too. And I,
Oh,
I see that will and that's why I gravitate to you guys, because I could see that you're not just chasing the reddest gecko or just chasing that, you know, the hottest thing. You know, you're looking at traits, and that's what I'm doing. You're looking at different ideas, and you want to put these together. And it's
hell yeah.
not morph chasing. So there's this thing now too that people are calling morph chasers. No, you know what it is? You're seeing these special traits on these animals, and it's incredible. And what do you do with this
Mhm.
trait and you put it with this other one? You put it together. What are you gonna get? You're not gonna get new things unless you put them together, right? You can make the nicest like
Right.
tricolor animal, but you're only making the nicest tricolor animal. Let's make something new, right? Let's test the waters, you know. And that's what I think that uh, we are here. You know, that's why I'm so happy to talk to you guys, because you guys don't put yourself in a box. You guys look outside the box and say, what can I do with this and this, and put it together. And I have so many ideas. Like I don't even try to share them too much because I'm like, I want to make it first. So I have a couple
That-
ideas, and I've been like concentrating, and I don't put everything out on Instagram. I was like, okay, I'll put the
yeah.
things that are common that people like, and I'll put them out there because, you know, I'm producing these things. But I have a special vision in my head that I want to put together, man, and it's hard and it takes years. And I'm hoping that nobody does it before me because I think it's fun. It's part of the fun. Hey, look at what I made. You know, it's really
Right.
cool. Yeah. So
That's
Yeah.
all.
I
I mean,
love it.
that's what
Cool.
it's. I mean, at
Yeah.
least for guys like us, we all keep multiple species of geckos. You know, we're
Hmm.
not like you said, like trait chasing and morph chasing. These guys see
Yeah.
something on Instagram, like I gotta have it, right? When I got
Hmm.
into this, I saw something that I quite frankly couldn't afford. So I said
Yeah.
to myself up at Florida, I'm up there and I wanted this gecko. It was like $1,300. I'm like, you know, but I'm gonna make them. I'm gonna make them.
Yes.
Someone took a bunch of genes and selectively made stuff to make
Exactly.
that gecko, right? I'm gonna
Hmm.
do that. Boy, I
Yes.
did. I made them better when I first
It,
wanted. You know,
that's
takes time.
perfect.
Takes time
Yeah.
to 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 do all this stuff, but the lessons you're learning and the
Hmm.
it's just priceless. You know, to have your own
Yep.
passion, to not
Hmm.
maybe you like what the market and the hobby likes, the trends. Maybe we all do. We
Yeah.
like what's trending, but
Oh, of
we
course.
can't
Yeah.
with that every time the trends change. We can't dump what we were doing and pick up a new thing, right? You have to have a
No.
vision,
Yes.
follow it through.
Yep.
It's pay attention to I mean the Crest New Caledonia market right now. I mean it's the things that were popular in 2010 and 2011 that almost died off are now becoming popular again, right?
Yeah.
Like someone's
Full circle.
doing very well with their passion, you know?
Yep. Exactly.
I believe that's where the
Yep.
best shine, yourself included. You know, we talked to
Hmm.
Wally last week. Guys that have passion for a species, for a trait, for the hobby in general, just
Hmm.
look different. They move
Yeah.
different. Where you're
Yep.
not just saying, "Oh, I got this. What can I breed this to? Someone tell me what to do with this." Like, why are you
Yeah.
asking? You shouldn't even be breeding
Yeah.
anything if you got to
Why
ask
do you even
someone
have
what
questions?
to
That shouldn't even be a question,
Yeah.
right?
do. Your soul, your heart, your conscience should be telling you what
Hmm.
to do. It's the only thing that should be telling you what to do is your heart.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
but
Exactly.
you're one of them people that does that. I see you. Tell us if you don't mind, Jay. I don't know if Jay knows, but
Yep.
Nelson's got a lot of F1s, F2s. He's been
Hmm.
importing, like, dude. Tell us a little bit about the wild stuff or close to wild stuff that you got.
So yeah, I kind of I'm not. It's not my idea. I've heard it. I've heard it before, but I feel like now that I brought it out in the open, I keep getting like Instagram messages. Hey, look it, check it out! I found this F1. Now I got it in my collection. Um,
Mm.
I was always fascinated with like the Ghouls-N-Geckos, and they were done importing in like the mid '90s, right? So in the mid '90s, they stopped the import to wild caught, basically any New Caledonian species. And so I really just wanted to get my hands on a wild caught one because they're still breeding now. And I'm like 30 years later, these animals are still producing. And I think that is so incredible. So I first went on a hunt to see if somebody with any kind of wild caught one would actually let go one of their prized possessions. I mean, nobody's going to let it go. Nobody's going to let go one of their wild caught new cow species. That's for sure. And so I just started reaching out and I'm thinking that, you know what, these F1s are amazing. They're not the reddest and they're not the hottest looking gecko. But I'll tell you one thing, their structure is unmatched. My structure on my F1 babies and the ones that I'm growing out blow away my reddest geckos. Like the horns on some of my geckos are amazing on my gargs, and the structure, the body, the way they grow so much faster. 6 months, I have a 7 month old gargoyle gecko that looks like it's almost a year and a half old compared to like the ones that I've bred from last year. Like they're growing faster, they're
Okay.
bigger,
Yeah.
they're more, they eat better, they're just structurally built well. I mean, these F1s, I'm going to put them into everything. Like my Reddit geckos that I have, I'm gonna put size and structure. I don't just want a red gecko. I want these things to look like the way they came out of the wild. I mean, I
Yes.
got 80,
So how
85
many
gram.
F1s do you have?
Right now, I got about three F1s. I got a
Okay.
male and two
Nice.
females, and I was talking to some guy in
Nice.
Europe. I might get another two in the later of the year. Some guys got some Kotai or Yate. I'm not sure exactly which island from, but it's a separate island from the ones that I got. From the ones, so I'm trying to get different locales from New Caledonia for the gargoyle geckos and try to get those just
Nice.
like breeding. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna take those and I'm gonna put size into these animals because I feel like
Oh.
50 grams or less on a gargoyle gecko. I think that was just from selective breeding and people putting together the prettiest things. And so you're losing
Mhm.
size. And I like the size of these animals and the way they look. It's just so way. I mean, if I if I had the geckos right here, I'd put two in front of you, and you can see one will fill my whole hand, and I have adults that just barely in this, my other hand just barely fitting. So yeah, I'm gonna that's my goal with those with the gargs, and I have other goals too, but I'm not gonna let I'm not gonna let those out yet.
Gotta keep those a secret, right?
Yeah, I got
That makes
something
so
I'm
much
working on. Go ahead.
sense bigger in the wild. That's real natural selection, right? Like
Yes.
they're being predated, have
Mm-hmm.
disease things in the wild that bloodline has overcome, right?
Yes.
Like that is the
Yep.
best of the best. The
Mm-hmm.
only the strong survive in the wild, right? Like they
Yes.
are the best. For that gecko just to make it in the wild and be born, he's
Mm-hmm.
already better than anything in captivity that's grown up in an egg box or has been hand selected to have a pretty girlfriend. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're talking strongest bloodlines, the
Yes.
strongest blood around. That is
Yes.
what Mother Nature did that species to look like. Like it's
Exactly.
I looked at the one you had, this thing had freaking horns, man. Like
Yes.
horns on this thing. I've never seen
Like
one
a
like
bull.
horns.
Yeah.
Jay, this
Like
thing had,
legit horns.
Is it on your IG?
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
You
Is it
should
on
be.
your
It should
IG?
be yeah. There. It should
Let
be
me
on there.
it makes
all right,
perfect
let me
sense. You know, like I've talked about it before, crested geckos and stuff. You know, people, they don't breed them till they're a certain size, which I'm not against. But
Yeah.
in the wild, right, a gecko is
Yep.
breeding as soon as it's mature.
Right.
There's no
Right.
one waiting for you to meet a girl until you're 40 grams and then pair you up, right? So like we're selectively breeding and almost evolving the species, you know, and by
Yeah.
doing that, I mean we're getting some better characteristics. Absolutely, we're getting some great traits, but we're also getting some crappy ones, right? Like if you took any
Mhm.
of these geckos I have and put them in New Caledonia in a trade, it'd be dead in an hour, you know?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. You can see the one right there. It's like the yellow with the red kind of yeah, that
Right
one's got
here?
the huge horns right there. Yeah. And that video doesn't do justice. Like if you see this thing in person, you would be
Watch when
like,
you catch
oh,
shadow.
that thing is
Oh
massive.
yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. I could definitely see those horns right there.
Looks
Yep.
like a wild. It just looks wild.
That's crazy.
Is that little baby one of his offspring? Have you produced anything out of them yet?
No, he's no, I have the female. I haven't posted her yet. I have a big female. She's about 75 grams right now too. That
God
I'm gonna put
dang.
into this year. Yeah, I got some big ones. No, that one that
Damn.
yeah, I produced them, but that right now the babies I had were just from my regular really nice red stripe pairings that I've had.
Yeah.
But that black and white one that you see in the picture there, that one's a F1 too. That one was from Mike Walsh. Uh, its mom
This
was
one? Oh yeah.
yep, from the wild. Yep. That was a Yate F1 Gargoyle Gecko. That thing is paper white in person. Like it's
Wow.
Nice.
beautiful. Yeah.
Last episode we had, you know, I only have one guard, but I was talking to Jay. I would
Yeah.
love to see produce myself a black and white super blotch. You know, like a
Mm-hmm.
black gargoyle
Yep.
with a white super blotch on the back. It look like a skeleton. You know,
Yeah.
like some
That'd
Tim
be
stuff.
amazing.
Oh man. And I haven't seen anything like it. Haven't seen anything
Yeah.
like it yet. I'm waiting.
The other one, the
Yeah.
the
I,
other
So what are
one.
your thoughts on these
So that
I'm
one,
saying what is
Jason,
your thoughts on these A-mail? Which one?
that one underneath the one with the horns down. Yeah. No.
This one?
Yeah, that one is a true. Both parents are wide caught. That was from FO2 Exotics. And that gecko is only a couple months
Okay.
old, and look at how big it is. That thing right now is like twice the size. It's bigger than any of my other geckos right now. At the size at his
Damn.
age. Yeah. And that's fired down. It's really beautiful fired up too. A lot of my pictures I just take when
Yeah.
when I don't try to stage them. I don't stage anything. I don't stage my videos or anything. It's raw. Whatever you see, you get.
love it. Love it. It's the best
Yeah.
way. Best way to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. So have you been paying attention to this whole Tiki's geckos with that A-mail gene for white boy?
You mean for the gargoyle gecko one? The
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
amelanistic
think he said
guard?
he's trying to prove. Yeah.
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 I think
I
this
think
is
he
the
said he's
first.
trying to prove it out this year.
Mm-hmm. I think he's got
Yeah.
something going on there. I know Rack House has one too. And I was talking to another
Oh, I
person. I
didn't
don't
even know
know if he
that.
wants me to know, but there's another one out there. Somebody has one too that they may not want to. There's a couple that people are trying to see if they can prove it out for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that's
Yeah.
exciting because we need a morph. It'd be fun to play with that.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
I did
Because I
reach
think
out.
like
Yeah,
I was say,
go
because
ahead.
I think like having a morph in gargoyles is like that next step to
Yep.
getting them as popular as those crested geckos. You start proving out those morphs. Next thing you know, you're doing a whole lot of other things with these gargoyles, especially with your F1s as well.
Yep.
Man, like having a nice big guard with that's amelanistic would really, I think that would
Oh
really
my
look
goodness.
fire.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Man,
There's so much untapped potential in the guard market. It's unbelievable.
yeah.
Really is. It really is. What year did they start coming in? Can you give us a little rundown? Like I said, I
Um,
only have one, and I'm not Well, give us a
I
little bit
wish
of the history about.
I would, yeah, I don't know exactly like the dates, but I know it was like mid 90s, like 94. They stopped in 96 importing them. There's not a
Mhm.
lot. I know a few hundred came in. And so, but they're still out there. That's the thing. They're still
Yeah.
hanging around. These older, um, wild caught gargoyle geckos. So if you just do a little digging and research, you can find breeders that actually still have them. I think 402 is the
Yeah.
easiest one. They're really out there advertising on their social media. They have true F1s, and they sent me pictures on Instagram and how they keep these geckos. Man, it's just next level. Those guys, man, they
Okay.
really. If you're looking for an F1, quality, 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 man, they have the best so far that I found of still breeding some really nice wild caught ones. But yeah, the only thing I know is they came in the mid 90s and they stopped importing them. You know, the new cow, the people, you know,
Oh, yeah.
they love their animals just like we do, and they don't want us having all their animals, you
Good.
know, or taking
Good.
them off their, you know, from where they live.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
respect it. To be 100% honest with you, I got nothing but
Yeah.
respect for it. I think that I say it every podcast, and I will continue to say it every podcast. Madagascar needs to do that.
Oh,
Madagascar
yeah.
needs to pump the brakes.
Yes. That's what scares me too. You know, I also have those uh, um, Europlatus ebenawis that I've been breeding. Those That's been a side passion for me for a while too. I don't really advertise it too much.
I
It's
was
just
telling
something I
Jackals.
enjoy doing. Yeah, I don't like my Instagram is just kind of a glimpse of what I do, right? Like I do it so that people can see and I enjoy it, but I really love like all kinds of geckos, you know. And
Yeah.
the Ebenawis are the smallest Europlatus species that you can get, and I think they're just amazing. I tried looking for the Fantasticus, the Europlatus Fantasticus, for a while, really like maybe 10 years ago, because I've seen like pictures online. I was like, what is that? Like, I want one of those, but I couldn't find them for the longest time. There was a YouTuber that was having them on his. He was known in Canada for having those Europlatus.
Reptiliatus.
Yeah, he's had those, and I reached out to him so many times, and like I never got any responses. This was before I even started NCG. This was like he was doing this a long time ago before I was like, man, I
Yeah.
really want one of those. This is the most beautiful gecko ever, and I was just trying to figure out how to get my hands on one. I finally imported the Ebenawi because I think they look very similar. They're smaller, but the tails are a lot smaller, but their structure's the
Yeah.
same. It's just like a miniature one. And so I was like,
Yeah.
man, I can't get that. I'll get this. This thing's amazing. So I got that gecko and I got it wild caught. And I agree with you.
Okay.
I had a wild caught Ebenawi from Madagascar. This was years and years ago before you can get them captive bred. And I was like, I'm gonna breed these. I want to make a whole bunch of these. I want people to enjoy these just as much as I do. But unfortunately, the animal came in. It looked healthy. It was big. It was strong. It was eating. And from like one day to the next, there was no signs. Like these animals, like reptiles, don't give you any signs. If there's something wrong with
Oh,
them, they're good
No.
at hiding it. Like, you're not gonna know, right? Like they're eating, they're fine, they're drinking, and you're like, wow, this is great. Next day, you know, he's no longer with us. I was like, oh my goodness. I told my wife, I'm like, no, my my special gecko that I waited forever to get, and I waited for years and years to get. It only lasted like 6 months. It was a wild caught.
yeah.
Finally,
Yeah.
No, if you're in the same
yeah, finally
situation.
years later, I was able to get captive bred ones. And you know what? I'm thinking now when I was raising that other one, the wild caught one, it looked like an Ebenawi, but it was big. It was bigger, and it had still the same tail, same everything, but it was a bigger gecko. I don't think that was an actual the same species of Ebenawi. If there's other ones,
Yeah.
that's the one I got wild caught. So
There are.
I think
I think there's
yeah,
a couple different ones.
yeah, they sent me one. It's not the same. So the locale, I don't know if it's because if it was locale or not. When I got my new pair, my captive bred ones, they were half the size. I grew them out for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. They're half the size of the one that I bought from Wild Caught, and it was just slightly different looking gecko. So I don't even think it was Ebenawi, to be honest with you. I think I was sold the Ebenawi Europlatus, that it was a different locale or a different everything. So I'm glad.
That's
I'm almost
interesting.
glad. Yeah,
It might have been Fiera. I think it
maybe.
probably might have been a Fiera.
Yeah, it was. It
Yeah.
was. I think it was mislabeled because it wasn't. It didn't look like the ones
Yeah.
that I'm raising and growing out now. And I've grown out bunch of them. More, I've grown out more of them than I did Gargs and Cresties so far. Like those things were very prolific for sure. So,
Yeah.
um,
How do they do? How do they you think they differ from New Caledonian species? How is it different raising Ebenawis and like
so
New
I think they
Caledonian?
like it. They like it a little bit cooler. I've had them in the same room as my new cow species, and so my room is in a basement where I had the geckos, and I've noticed that like the top, if you, it's like a microclimate in the room because the basement, the floor is really cold compared to like the above in the room. So when I've had them up higher, it was literally like 5 to 8 degrees warmer higher than it was towards the bottom of the room. So they weren't doing so well when I had them hotter up on top. So when I moved them down below to the lower level, they were doing great. And the other thing is, UVB is extremely important. Uh, I was feeding them D3 and vitamins, and they were crashing. It was over too much. You can actually give them too much D3 and vitamins, and they have these like calcium sacs in their throats that swell up, and
Yeah.
once they swell, it can give you it can be fatal if you don't catch it fast enough. But I've noticed that I barely give them
Wow.
any D3, but I provide them with UVB, and they are thriving. So keep them a little bit cooler is my point. Keep them a little bit cooler, and do very little D3 and vitamins, very little, because they overdose on it too quickly from what I noticed from my care. And so they thrive now with just the UVB is not directly on top of the tank too. If you want to, I set it up where it's kind of off, so it's not directly, because I've heard that UVB can actually damage their eyes, and so you don't want a bunch of geckos that can't see. So you put the UVB away from the top of the tank, so it's not directly hitting their eyes, and they'll get enough to it. They'll run up to the top of the tank. They'll soak in that UVB, whatever they need, and they come back down. A lot of leaf litter, a lot of little branches. They love to climb. I have a lot of little climbing areas for them, and they're so enjoyable. I mean, I love them. They're awesome. They're literally. I don't post them a lot on my Instagram. I love I love these little guys. They're really cool. They're one of the best. Not too many things you could do with them. That's the thing. Like you could take Cresties and Gargs, and you could paint a picture in your mind, and you can make that. These little guys, they're mostly
Yeah.
like a passion. You're not gonna be making big, bunch of red ones. You're not gonna be making a bunch of, spotted ones and stuff like that. You do get a little bit of color here and there, but there's
Yeah.
they are what they are. They're beautiful species, man. And I think that that anybody can have them. Just have the right setup, and
Yeah.
you're golden. They're not that complicated, but they are a little bit more finicky compared to, if I had to compare to a new cow species. You got to make sure you have the right lighting and humidity. Have like a dry period too. I have a substrate that, so my new cows, I got them on paper. It's easier for me. I've tried like coconut husk and stuff like that and all those things, but I find that it's easier to clean for me. Having a bunch of new cow species to have that, but the leaf tails, they have almost like a bioactive setup, except for I don't have any isopods in there. I don't put any isopods because they dig their little eggs into there, and I don't want. I've heard horror stories of isopods eating eggs. I don't know if they do or not. I don't want to take the chance. Those eggs are so small. They're teeny tiny. I don't even a couple of isopods, if they decide to eat it, will probably destroy those eggs quickly. So I don't have
Yeah.
any. I don't have any of those
Do you keep
isopods
pairs
in there.
together year round? Do you keep them? Do you just breed them and separate them, or do you keep pairs?
I had trios before, and I feel like the one
Huh?
female would always be kind of left out. She get a little bit skinnier. Maybe it's just the ones that I had. So now I keep them in pairs. I keep them in pairs. So far, I keep them all year round, but I have a lot of leaf litter and I have spots so that the female can hide if she needs to get away from the male. I don't know
So
if she
yeah, a lot
needs
of
to
visual
or not.
barriers.
Yeah, I don't know if she needs to or not. And I watch them every day. The male really doesn't, unless she's receptive. The male doesn't even go by her, and they're pretty. You can see too. Their little tails kind of wag a little bit. I have a video, and she'll let them know, and they'll wag their tails at each other. It's the funniest thing. I'm like, what are they doing? Like, what's this? Why are they wagging their tails at each other? And before you know it, you're like, okay, that's what's going on. But yeah, they tell each other. They communicate with each other, and the male, the ones that I've had, they don't bother. They don't bother the female unless she's asking for it. So yeah. So
That's awesome.
I've been
So
keeping
what
them.
does your collection kind of look like downstairs?
So I have mostly, man, I think I have more crested geckos, only because there's so many, and I like to throw them together and to see what we can get.
Mhm.
It's just
Mm.
it's a fun gecko. And then my gargoyle geckos, I just love them. I think they're amazing animals. I'd keep gargs forever. I just love how they look and everything about them. I have those would be my next. Underneath my cresties, I have more, and because cresties they're more prolific. So when I breed the cresties, more of them come out as opposed to my gargs.
Yeah.
They're a
Okay.
little bit, yeah, they're a little bit harder to breed. So I don't have as many, but I have a lot of holdbacks. Then I have a pair of cave geckos. I thought they were cool.
I knew it. I
I
told
do.
you, Jay. I knew it.
I have a pair of cave geckos, a trio that I've had for a
Which
couple years.
ones?
The Chinese cave geckos. And
Okay.
I have a trio that've been living together forever. They produce eggs. I have eggs incubating right now from them. The kids like it. My daughter, she always wants a leopard gecko, and it's kind of the closest looking gecko to a leopard gecko
It's
to
it,
her. And so I'm
it's
like,
like the
I don't
gothic
want any
version of a
leopard.
leopard gecko.
Yeah, I'm like, nothing against leopard geckos. I just didn't want a leopard gecko, so I got the cave geckos because my daughter
And the
really wanted
yeah,
leopard gecko. So
yeah.
yeah,
And I
she
mean, with
enjoys.
those cave geckos, they kind of go with your parameters that you got with all the other with the new cows and the Europlatus,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I keep them down low with the leaf tails, so they stay cooler. And I have them
Yeah.
on uh, uh, the coconut husk stuff, the substrate, and I keep it moist. And I do have a lay box in there for them. They go in there, but they never lay. They always lay in the substrate. But I had the substrates maybe about an inch and a half thick, so I just pick up the whole container and I look underneath it and I find the eggs that way. So
Hell yeah, that's what I do. People call me
yeah,
nuts. I've never had an egg fail. I never lost one. I let them lay
yeah,
right in the box. I just bury up back corner a little deeper with the mulch. I pick the
yeah.
boxes up and I look and I see they both they laid.
That's it. Yeah, yeah. And I feed them dubia and crickets, and those I do. I put the calcium powder on there and the vitamins for them. Never had any issues of overdosing with those guys. So yeah, I have them. They're nice. They're awesome. They're cool. I don't have a whole bunch of
Beautiful,
them, but I do have. Yeah, they're beautiful. They're amazing.
beautiful.
So yeah.
Purples and the orange together or the
Oh
yellow.
man.
It's like it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
I
think my favorite
agree.
cave geckos are those orientalis, the Japanese cave geckos with that
Yes.
bright
Yep.
orange, the red
Mhm.
eyes. Oh man, those are
Yeah.
so I love those things.
The black with the red
So
eyes,
with
man.
these gargoyles, right? Is it
Yeah.
pretty straightforward with the breeding? Is it like you put a blotch to a blotch, you're gonna get blotches, or that sometimes it pops out with a stripe or something like anything like that that
So
happens?
yeah. Uh, so they are so it's a kind of, it depends on their lineage basically. So if they've been bred, if you have a lot of stripe in its lineage, it's gonna produce more stripes if you have more blotches. But um, I've noticed that because it can vary. So you can have two stripes and you can end up with a blotch, or you can have a blotch
Mhm.
and a stripe, and then you have kind of like a combination. But it's getting to the point where they're being bred specifically for certain traits so much they're kind of turning into something where you can predict now. Before you couldn't predict
Yeah.
anything. You
Okay.
get kind of you put two gargs together and you get like a whole bunch of different gargs. But now that they've been bred so much and they're kind of people are looking for certain looks, that stripe, you can get two stripes and continuously get stripes and stripes and stripes and stripes. But before, my earlier geckos, the ones that I've bought and I've bred, I'd get a mixture. I would put them together and it would be a mixture of blotches and stripes and stuff like that. But you can narrow it down. It's getting more narrow now. You can kind of
Okay.
predict what's going on with the gargs
Cool.
now. Yeah.
Very cool. I wonder if it's anything like, how crested geckos, when we're working with pinstripes will disturb tigering, right? And
Hmm.
tigering, I believe that certain genetics disturb the natural tigering pattern to do certain things, even Dalmatian to a sense. I have super Dals that I breed together, and they're a little. This I don't really tell anybody this, but it's a little bit of a line bred project I have going on. I'll
Hmm.
take an orange super Dal and an orange super Dal. I have out these bright orange geckos with black tiger stripes. Not a
Wow.
single
Yeah.
Dow stripe.
Yeah.
Two Dows make what's happening?
Yeah.
What's
Yep.
happening? Is it the being disturbed by lateral patterns that's forcing it into these tiny little spots and making Dalmatian? Is it the same
Hmm.
thing with Gargs? Is two genes banging heads and disturbing that pinstripe that's forcing it to
I,
shatter all over the back, make these
I think
blotches?
that's it,
Like,
man. Yeah.
hmm,
I think that's it. I think you nailed it.
I
I think
always
that,
have. I'm always, is this what's, because
yeah.
Mother Nature, and I say it all the time again, Mother Nature's not stupid. It's something very specific is happening to make these happen. It's maybe a mistake on our behalf because we don't know what's
Mhm.
going on, but just like ball python genes, they know exactly what gene is interacting with something to create something. They're
Yeah.
just there before us. But
Hmm.
these Gargs are, you watch what's learned in the next 2, 3, 4 years with these things.
Yes.
I mean, shit, you'll be
Exactly.
the one doing it.
Yeah, it's everybody's still chasing that red gecko. It's still not that I don't
Yeah.
like it. I have red geckos. You can see I love it, but now like I changed my focus because I saw everybody is like, oh, I got the best red now. Oh no, no, I don't. Not even close. Oh wait, no, turned it down a notch. So it's hard. I'm like, I'm not gonna chase a red gecko. I'm gonna do something fun. I'm gonna do something different. Let somebody else continue that because it's never gonna end. But yeah,
What
I
is
wanna.
that?
I want that. That is a crested gecko. That red one.
Well, I'm not. Is that a lily?
That is a lily. That's a low
Phantom.
expression lily crested gecko. Phantom. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
that thing is
that thing is
incredible. Yeah.
regeneration.
Yes, I love
Oh,
Now,
that
is it
gecko.
brighter red in person? Because I'm man, like right now it's really bright. Now, is it even brighter just because you know how
that,
the stuff comes through
Yeah.
the camera? It doesn't always show
Uh,
the best qualities, but it
I
looks
want to
bright
say
as hell from here. But
it's pretty much that's how it looks in person. That's yeah, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
yeah. From I can see it on
I'm
here
trying
too. It's red.
to love it.
It's
yeah.
literally that red. It is.
Ooh,
It's
Damn.
incredible.
that was
He'll be.
hats off. He's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. That's that red because I love red. I love red anything. That red really that it's almost as red as my gargs, and gargs are really red. That thing is one of the reddest
Uh,
crested geckos I've come across. That's for
that red
sure.
empty back you have is gorgeous too. That female, that red empty back, she's
Yeah, that
gorgeous, man.
that thing was a lucky find too. That was from Northern, and I told them like, did you breed this like this? And they treated that gecko like it was just like a nothing gecko. I'm like, no, there's something special about this gecko.
I bet
Um,
ones are too. It's like people care,
yeah,
but that's what makes a different type of breeder. You have an
yeah,
eye, something that drives your passion. These other guys are comparing it to what's hot in the hobby. Like, oh, that's
yeah,
not fitting what's popular. Go,
yep,
go, go. But your eyes and your heart, you're looking at something that's ready to really get your project you have taken
mm,
off. Like that's gonna
yeah,
something for this project. Like
yep.
I've never seen one like that. I've seen a couple that forget who makes them, like jet black and in Korea and
Oh
stuff. They
yeah.
make those black ones with
Mm-hmm.
street geckos. I don't see no red ones. You got
No.
the only red one I've seen is the only red empty back
That
or super stripe that I she's gorgeous.
yeah.
How many countries have you imported from?
So far I've only done Korea. Was the
Oh yeah,
But I'm gonna be. I got. I don't know if I count Canada. I have from Northern Gecko,
yeah.
Canada. So I have another one from
Hey,
Canada.
that
But I
is
got
a
one.
import as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. And then this summer I'll be doing one from France. The one from Europe. I'm gonna get F1 from France
Nice,
over there. Yeah. But they're importing it from
nice.
Germany. It's gonna go from Germany to France, and then it's gonna go to me. So
These geckos
yeah.
come with passports with stamps.
They travel more than I ever. I'm jealous, man. I'm like, man, I want to go get them myself.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
So I've had gargoyles in the past, and I've always had like little issues with feeding them, like especially
yeah.
bugs. Well, like what
Hmm.
are some of the little tricks that you do with yours? Because for me, it was like, come on, man, I'm ripping the heads off. I'm
Yeah.
like getting the juices out, trying to spray it on, like trying to leak it onto their mouth to see if they'll get enticed. And then sometimes they do get enticed. Then other times they're like, nah,
Hmm.
get out my face with this stuff. Do
So
you have any? Do you do anything else?
I do. Yeah. I take the dubias and I blend them into the food now. So
Yeah, I've done that too.
my
Yeah.
really picky ones, like they won't just eat anything live. I will blend the dubia roaches into their food. Their favorite food, I'll figure out usually watermelon. They love their watermelon flavor, and then I'll blend it into the food and they'll eat it that way. If you have, sometimes you
Okay.
got to make sure your humidity levels are okay. That's why they won't eat sometimes. Uh, make sure their humidity levels are well and their temperatures and they're good. The other trick I do too, uh, just trying to figure it out. I talk to other breeders. Um, so I would feed them sometimes if like I have like one of my geckos don't make it, out the egg or they pass away. Sometimes these geckos, they make it to the hatching and they don't survive. I'll try to feed the babies that don't make it to the uh, picky geckos, like my picky gargs, and they'll take it.
Yeah.
They like it. They like
Yeah.
lizards, man. They'll eat it. They'll
It's
eat other
nutrition.
lizards. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nutrition right there.
When you watch
Like I
guard
said, I'm
eat,
an open book. You ask me, I'm telling you. I'll take
Yeah.
these babies that don't make it, and I'll feed them to my picky ones, and they'll eat it right up, man. There's no wasted life
you,
Yeah.
in the gecko room. That's for sure.
you
Yeah,
see
for
what
real.
they wild man.
Yeah,
When you watch a garg eat
yeah,
another gecko stillborn or
yeah.
deformed gecko, when you watch a garg eat one of them, you know what they're doing in the wild. They
Yes,
Oh
attack that
yeah.
I
like
actually,
Yeah. Look at those teeth.
yeah, I actually
Like,
thought
yeah,
I'm
those
like
teeth are
maybe,
razor sharp.
yeah, maybe I can get. I know they have house geckos for feeders, right? Like they
Yeah.
feed other animals.
Yeah.
I thought about maybe looking into it. I don't know if anybody's ever thought about it, but maybe feeding them house geckos to
House
them
geckos, morning
might be an option.
geckos.
Yeah, yeah, something small that they can eat.
Yeah.
Um,
feeder geckos for sale all the time. Feeder geckos. They're
yeah,
probably like
Yeah.
more geckos and house geckos, and
yeah,
you know what it is. When we were kids in the 80s, they were doing with the Knolls. Knolls were feeder
yeah,
geckos. The green and
exactly.
Yeah.
Knolls,
Yep,
four
yep,
ninety nine. Feeder
It's
gecko.
still
yeah,
a feeder. It's
Feeder
still a
list.
yeah,
feeder animal.
yeah. So yeah, that's what I do with finickies. I try to do different things, But the best success I've had with the ones that just would not eat any bugs is I blend it into their gecko diet, and then they'll
Okay.
eat it usually that way. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Cool. That's what's up. Yeah. So what attracted you to gargoyles in general? What made, because you said kind of gargoyles are almost your like one of your favorites. So
Yeah.
what attracted you to them compared to all the other geckos in the world?
So when I used to go to reptile shows, when I was younger, before
Hmm.
Tinley. So before Tinley, there was reptile shows in I'm from the Chicagoland area, and my dad and I we used to
Yeah.
drive off to the out in the country where they had like they weren't called reptile shows. They were like flea markets, and you'd go to a barn,
Yeah.
and the barn, it'd be dirt floor, and then there would be a bunch of tables and a bunch of guys just with reptiles. And I saw a gargoyle gecko there one time, and I was like, "What is that?" and it was a garg. It was it wasn't a red nothing. It was nothing red or fancy back then. It literally looked like a piece of stone, like this gecko with blue eyes and like a stone gray body. And I was like, what is that? And I thought it had like this special care because it was like this really crazy looking animal to me when I was younger, and it just stuck in my head. I'm like, one day I'm gonna get those. And then I didn't see one for years and years and years. I didn't see one, and then they became popular. I started seeing them around, and then I was like, if I'm gonna get a gecko and I'm gonna introduce something to my kids, I want something cool. And I just thought at that point that the Gargs was the perfect gecko to introduce my kids to, reptiles, and have them at home, and they can play with them and look at them, and enjoy them.
So how involved are your kids into with you in the hobby?
Oh, I put them on my videos. I take them to Tinley all the time. Anything, I'm always, they want lychees. I want a lychee, but we don't have room for lychees. So every time there's this guy Aerotonix, he's a gecko guy
Okay,
too.
yeah.
He has awesome geckos, and he always has his lychee at the shows, like this really really docile lychee. And every single time, my kids got to go up to his table and ask if they could hold the lychee. So they think it's like a little dinosaur. So yeah, at some point I'm gonna have to get my hands on the lychee for them, but I just gotta make the special room because you can't just have one lychee. You gotta have more than one lychee. So I'm
As
kind
soon
of,
as I
Okay.
produce
yeah.
Nelson, I will send your girls will get one of my very first productions. I will send your daughter. Just say
Oh,
it ain't never a word in my life. Mark my words. As soon as your girls will
that's
have
good.
one.
Oh my goodness, yeah, they would love it. That's for sure. Yeah,
Right? As soon as I hatch them girls will have one.
Nice.
We'll work something out. I got that red gecko. I'll send you something
I should you
from that
not.
guy too.
Success is only possible with opportunity.
Yeah,
If you never have opportunity, there can never really be success.
yeah,
So I feel like children, crazy in as much as they switch, you know, their passions, if you will, you have to give it to them. You have to give
yeah,
it to them. If your kid says play a piano and you're like, no, we ain't doing this, or I want to play a guitar and you're like, no, you're not doing that. You never know if you don't have the next Lady Gaga. You never know if
that's
she
true.
don't like simply something that didn't work, but something's
Yeah,
gonna click. Something's gonna.
yep.
You have to
Yeah.
cultivate. You have to cultivate that. You can't say wait till you're 18 and figure out what you like then.
No, yeah, you
You
gotta,
got,
Yep.
like you said, this is our next generation. These are the kids, and
exactly.
the kids who will take care of us. They'll be running our country. The generation who will be presidents,
Mm-hmm.
doctors. These have to take care of these kids.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yep.
And you do an amazing job, man. You do an
Thank
amazing
you.
job again. You do like it's beautiful what you do with those girls, man. I mean,
Yeah,
something special.
yeah, they love it, man. I
Yep.
know my one daughter, she wants to be a vet, which I think is great because we need veterinarians that specialize in these animals.
And rep.
When I had to
Yeah,
take my
definitely
own
that.
animals to the vet, they're not trained in these type of reptiles, and they don't really
Have
know
you
what to do.
gone? Have you gone on the Arab? I think it's Arab.com or something like that. So it's like the associate of like veterinarians that uh do their continued studies in reptiles. So they have like this big old list in each state of each people that do specialize in those. So you don't have to go to like some random vets that
Oh
may or may
man,
not.
that is great information,
Yeah,
especially having this
yeah,
podcast, putting that out there. That's important. Yeah, I didn't know
yeah.
anything about
I
that, but I'm definitely gonna
yeah.
take
I
notes.
think so Ryan McVeigh's wife used to be because I think I can't remember what she like a vet tech or something, and so
Yeah.
she would take responsibility for the vet tech side of that, and then uh, and her and another person just kind of switches off on that, and then they have one for the actual veterinarians as well. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's definitely a good resource to look
Hmm.
into. Especially like like I said, we deal with geckos and reptiles that don't, like you said, don't show their symptoms of of
Exactly.
their
Yep.
illnesses. So you got to find someone that's good, in order to take them, let them do their Finkles, let them do everything they
Hmm.
what they need to know to do. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, definitely a good resource.
You said A1 Vet Tech? Is that what it was?
I think it's
What
called like
exactly?
Arab. I have it saved on my
Oh,
links. I
ARAB.
have to look and see.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's
I
see.
mean,
So
that's
how did
Just
that
information.
looking.
you had
Um,
the hemipene issue, and you went to the vet and had all the surgery? How'd that whole
yeah,
process and spiel go?
yeah, I was really nervous about that one. The vet did seem like she knew what she was doing. Um, I wish I would have just taken a different angle. Once the hemipene was out, if I had to go through this again, I would definitely just have it amputated the first time. She tried to tuck it back in. I think that was almost the demise of my gecko. He almost stressed to death. You know, there was too much stress on him. Uh, I think she meant well. I don't think she made a mistake. Maybe it did help another gecko in the past because she kind of said, you know, this is a breeder gecko. We can save his hemipene. We can tuck it back in. I was very apprehensive about that, but I trusted her. She sounded very confident that it was something that she can do, and she did it. But it was something once you put that stitch on there, it doesn't hold. You know, it the first time the gecko, you know, a couple days later, you know, had to go to, you know, it dropped, had to go to the bathroom. It ripped that that uh that stitch right out, and it was worse than when he went in. And so I was really worried. I was like, oh my goodness, this guy's really good. This is really going to be bad for this gecko. So I think if I had to do it a second time, given the experience that I have now, I would just tell him to amputate it, give me the medicine, you know, and I will take care of the gecko that way. I think that would be the best approach for, you know,
Did he
give
make
it.
it? Is
Yeah.
he
Yeah, he's fine. He did. He went through two surgeries and he made it. And he's looking healthy. He did drop a little bit of weight. He
okay?
didn't eat for a little bit, but I had him in a separate tub that was very clean, very sanitary. I cleaned out his cage every single day. I had to give him shot every single day, and I had to give him oral medicine every day for a couple weeks. But he made it through, and he's an awesome gecko. So I'm hoping I did
Awesome.
reach out to people. I don't know if anybody's ever had any experience with one hemipene on a gecko. If he's going to be
I heard
breedable,
they breed.
yeah, I'm
I
hoping
heard they
because I want
still.
little babies. Yeah. I haven't paired him yet. He looks healthy and perfect, but I'm just gonna wait a season. I don't want to stress him out
Yeah.
anymore. You know,
Yeah.
this was only a few months
Yeah.
ago.
No need to
So
rush it, right?
yeah, no rush. Yeah, I'm gonna have them forever. You know, they live a long time, so there's
Yeah.
no reason to push it. Um,
You probably learned
So
that. I mean, it sucks that you had to
yeah,
learn it that way. You
yes,
probably know now with the question that you have a
yeah,
lot more how to handle.
yeah,
Probably help navigate people through the same situation. You know, it's
yeah,
I hate to deal with that, but the information that you learned is probably worth
hmm
well more than the vet bill.
oh, for
Uh,
sure. Yeah, yeah, and it's not even about the vet bill, really. I mean, that it comes with the territory. If you have a bunch of animals, you know
absolutely,
you're gonna have to take care of
yeah.
sure
them
does.
at some point. Yeah, so
Sure
I
does.
highly tell people, you know, if you're just buying this one gecko or just one animal, you gotta save for a rainy day. Put some money aside in case you have to take this animal to the vet because just the visit, just putting your foot in the door is a couple $100 just for them just to be like, oh, you want me to look at your gecko and pretend to give them check their pulse or something? Like, no, it's alive. You know, help me help me save my gecko. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's
Let me know
expensive.
what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the website right here. It's
Oh,
called
beautiful.
arav.org. Yeah.
Oh,
So
nice.
you go in there, you just go ahead and put your zip code in. They'll help you find a reptile vet close to you.
Oh man,
Oh, that's
that's
cool.
uh, that's great information right there. That is just if
Yeah.
there's anything that anybody could get from this podcast, is this right here. You know, be able to help your animal out.
Yeah,
And I'll
Yeah,
definitely put this one in the show notes right here.
yeah. You
yeah,
know how to. You can put a link, whatever for
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. So
yeah,
when I upload it all, it'll be on there.
Awesome.
yeah.
But
And then look
so
ahead of
this
time. You know,
so are you a
go ahead.
go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if
I was gonna
anybody
say just
listening to this, yeah, look ahead of time. Look at this website if and find out where they're at because when I was looking for a vet, it was too late. I shouldn't have waited last minute. I was calling vets all crazy when I saw this happen. You kind of just you live day by day. You don't think of the worst case scenario, and the worst case
Yeah.
scenario will pop up. And find a vet before
Yep.
almost before you buy an animal that you're thinking about keeping, because you want to know that you have somebody in the area that can help you out with this, because it's so
Definitely. You
stressful
know, you
to
want
have
to
an
establish that
animal.
rapport with them.
Exactly. Yep. And see if you can find a place that has a 24-hour emergency assistance, because when my
Yeah.
gecko had that issue, it was literally in the middle of the night, because we're taking care of geckos at night. We're looking at them, we're spraying them down, and he's like, oh my goodness, it's what do I do at 12 o'clock at night with my gecko that needs an emergency? So it's nice to have a website like this to look ahead of time and
Yeah.
and find a
Absolutely.
vet.
Yeah. So are you a big vendor, or you just like walking the shows?
So I wanted to vend this year, to be honest with you, and I should have listened to a couple of the local guys. They're like, if you want to vend Tinley, you gotta register like 3 years ahead of time. Like 3 years, that's
Yeah,
excessive, but you do, you really do. You're
it
not gonna
is.
get
But
in
yeah, I've
unless
I've looked into that.
yeah, you have to. You either have to know those guys personally, or you're gonna be put on a waiting list for a
Yeah.
couple of years. I'm not.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to vend because I want to talk to people and stuff like that, and I think it's fun. I've always been on the other side of the table where I'm buying,
Yeah.
and I think it's nice to be able to vend, because then I can reach out to other people, and just like you guys, you can talk. It's just timing. Everything's timing. I'm raising a family, so it's hard to do everything that you want to do. So I have priorities that I need to take care of. Like this weekend's Flora Fauna. Oh my goodness. I can't believe you guys are not there, but I see
Well,
pictures of
Well,
people.
so yeah, I work in the school district, so this is
Yeah.
like end of the school year for me. So it's hard for me to
Yeah.
get out of work early and try to schedule some days off. They look at me crazy, like, really, Jason? You're really gonna leave? It's like, see, like,
Yeah.
I took like a whole week off so I could go to Tinley in October last time. They're like,
Yeah.
Jason, you're killing us. I'm like, sorry, this is I need to go to this one because I went to the Gecko
Yeah.
Symposium. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, and so I was like, no, I'm taking a day off, taking some time off for that one. It was well worth the experience. I was
Hmm.
like, hopefully they do it again next year because I want to go again next year.
Yeah. I see you wearing the shirt too.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
The
yeah, yep.
symposium
I have.
shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. Look. Yeah. Did you go to
So
it or?
I did, but I don't know if I was working at the same time that I was at the symposium. So I was dealing with a lot of stuff. I was so upset because I told the guys at work, I'm like, "Hey, I'm going to this thing. I want to learn. I want to figure I want to hear about these geckos and stuff." But of course, it happens like clockwork. They're
Oh yeah.
calling me up. Oh, I have this problem with this and I have that. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, guys, can it please wait? Like, can you
Do
take
not
care of this
disturb.
stuff, please? So I was there, but I was not there. So I did catch a lot of great stuff.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah.
they did have a wonderful information about. They were talking about, I know, crickets and bugs, right? Feeding bugs. Were you there
Yeah.
for that one?
Yeah.
And how the
Yep. I
eyes
was there
had a
for the whole
special.
entire thing.
Yeah, the eyes of the I didn't notice that the eyes of like crickets and bugs have a special vitamin that these lizards need, and so if you're
Hmm.
feeding your animals like mealworms, right? Because they don't have like those eyes with the compound eyes, you're missing out on a vital vitamin for them. And so I know there
Oh,
was
Yeah.
I caught that in between. I was like, man, somebody's got to be there to like let me in on all the information. Like, what else did I miss? So yeah, if you're feeding bugs and you're ripping the heads off, right? Because you're trying to get them to eat the bugs, the nutrition part is in the head of the of the animal too, because the compound eyes have a
Yeah.
special vitamin that the animals really need. So that was really important
Yeah.
oh,
information.
never.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was like shocked when he was like he was going over how he had the bugs outside compared to the bugs that he kept inside on how
Yeah.
much the D3 levels were
Mhm.
skyrocketed up. And it's like, do you really need to add D3 if you have your bugs outside? Um,
Yeah.
like not like grabbing bugs outside, but just having like a bin outside where they can get UVB, and then you can go ahead and bring those in to feed to your reptiles.
Yes, yeah, yeah. And he talked
Yeah,
about feeding your bug, what to feed them, feeding your crickets, how to
yeah,
gut load them and stuff. And from what I got from it, one of the best things is the carrots. Carrots got a lot of vitamins for these animals. That so if you're feeding the carrots and
yeah,
you're dusting them with calcium, you're doing a very good thing for your animals.
Dude,
They're going to be
awesome.
very
That's
nutritious. Yeah.
little carrots. I buy those pre-skinned bagged
Hmm.
baby carrots.
yeah,
Yeah.
Everything with them.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
cool.
So
I chop everything up really small so they can all get it and not try to be all on one thing. So I'll
yeah.
chop carrots, squash, I'll
Mm.
throw some greens in there, and then I'll sprinkle on some like bee pollen, just to like because the bee pollen is like an appetite enhancer as well.
Yep.
So it makes the crickets even more hungry, so they're going to eat all their food. And then I mix bee pollen into like the gecko diet. Oh yeah, they're right there.
Yep.
That one,
Yep.
and then I mix in spirulina to my gecko diet as well,
Hmm.
just to get some of those good benefit vitamins they have in that as well.
Yeah. And then wait a couple days. Let them eat that stuff up for
Oh yeah,
let it get into their system. Um,
yep,
I know early on, I learned too about feeding calcium to crickets. The calcium would actually kill the crickets. So if you're putting the calcium in the food with the crickets, you might have more dead crickets by the time you're feeding them. So
yeah,
that's why dusting them is a little bit better than trying to feed them the calcium and then giving it to the animal.
yeah.
Good
So
stuff.
with babies, do you so when you have hatchlings, right? Are
Yeah.
you constantly feeding them every single day for a certain period of time, or do you kind of just keep them on the same schedule as everybody else?
No, I like to give them the opportunity to eat. So I have
Okay,
my babies I feed every day. It's probably a little bit of
okay,
overkill, but I mean I just think it's just a little cap, right? Like a little tiny bit. They don't eat a lot, and you can't even tell if they're eating because they eat so little. So for me to feed them every
yeah,
day, I feel like it can't hurt, So I'd rather have
okay.
them have the food there at all times when they're growing, and as opposed to just feed them with my adults, So I feed babies every day. That's just my
Okay. Yeah,
personal.
I do the same thing with my stropheras. Like, cause I
Yeah.
mean, they're like this big when they're hatched out, right? So, but I throw in like maybe one or two crickets each day,
Hmm.
and then once they start putting on the size after like a couple weeks, then I kind of spread it out a little bit more, and then maybe give them three crickets on
Hmm.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and maybe on Sunday because I feed my new cows 4 times a
Yeah.
week, so they get
Okay.
2 days is bugs, 2 days is diet, and then
Yes.
so on that Sunday when I'm feeding the new cows their diet, I might throw in if I have baby hatchling stropheras, I give them some crickets as well.
Oh man, those are awesome. Those are the is that the spiny tail
Spiny
geckos? Is that what
tails,
they're called? Yeah, those are beautiful. Like,
yeah, yeah,
do those have
yeah.
like different locales? Because I've seen like different colors and it's like oranges,
So
reds, and
yeah, so with
like,
your ciliaris, you have
yeah.
subspecies. So you have Stropharis ciliaris and you have Stropharis ciliaris aberrans.
Okay.
And then I believe Stropharis tenicata, there's three different like subspecies as well. So you'll see
Hmm.
ones with like the golden tail, they have some with like an orange tail, and I believe some with a red tail, or maybe it's a
Okay.
different color eyes. I can't remember on those. Um,
Yeah.
but generally, those are like the only ones I've seen like actually in the hobby. Out in the wild, they've shown some other ones. I just can't remember off the top of my head which ones
Yeah.
they were.
Which ones are you working with?
And then I
Which ones do
have
you have?
Stropharis intermedius, I have the intermedius, and then I have ciliaris. So I have the biggest ones, which are the ciliaris, which they're not
Okay.
that big. They only get like maybe 6 inches or so with the tail. Um,
Yeah.
and then, like I said, the intermedius are like maybe 3 inches.
Hmm.
Uh, so the intermediates don't have the tail or don't have the tail spikes like the ciliaris do, but they all
Okay.
shoot that goo out.
Yeah.
I
Have you
said I've
experienced
only
that or?
been sprayed. I've been sprayed once or twice, and that was there were hatchlings coming straight out the egg. They were freaking out, and they sprayed my hand, but you could smell it. It smells like
Yeah.
a stink bomb. That's all.
Oh
Yeah,
man. I'm interested in those. I might look into those in the future. I think they're
yeah.
That's
fantastic
Well,
cool.
they
looking.
like
Yeah.
so they breed like cresties. Like my
Okay.
intermedius breed like
Yeah.
cresties. Like
Yeah.
last year, I think I got like 16 eggs from
Wow.
one
Yeah.
female.
And they're
Yeah,
mainly bug eaters
yeah,
too. They
and
just
oh, they're
they
only bug eaters. Yeah,
only bug eaters. You can't no crested gecko
oh
diet or anything. No. Okay.
no, no, yeah, they come from an arid environment in Australia. So primarily it's just bugs, but they do need the UVB. Uh, they have to have that good high 12 to 14% UVB on
Huh.
top of having like a 25-watt heat lamp as well.
Yeah. Yeah. They're beautiful
Yeah,
animals. They're just amazing.
yeah.
That's cool. Are they considered micro geckos? The smaller
Um,
ones?
I guess I mean we we talked to Wally last week, and we're like, yeah, that's probably considered a micro.
Oh,
Anything under 3 inches, right?
really? All right. I didn't
Yeah.
know. I didn't know an actual set definition of what what was a micro gecko and what's not.
Yeah, yeah. I think anything under 3 inches, I think is considered micro, or at least small. I don't know. Like their eggs, I literally just had. I just pulled eggs out this morning from them. Their eggs are like little Tic Tacs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those the Ebanawi eggs are tiny too.
Oh, they're super tiny. Yeah.
How
Yeah. I
do
put
you
them.
incubate them?
So
How
I
do
put
you set up?
yeah, I put them in like a small deli cup with so the like a feeder cup. You put the eggs in there with the dry vermiculite, not wet at all, and then in that cup I put uh, uh, anything that can like a substrate, like how would you
That
call it?
retains humidity.
Yeah, something that retains humidity, holds it like peat moss. So you can layer the
Okay.
first layer of the cup with peat moss, and I soak it pretty good. Like I get it really wet, and then I put the little small like feeder cups with the vermiculite dry in there, and then I put the eggs on the dry vermiculite, no, not wet whatsoever, and then I seal the top of it. So I close it off, no holes or anything, and I just let it sit in the room
Okay.
temperature. And I mean, unless they're molding, they're usually pretty fertile, and they'll pop out little tiny
Oh,
babies. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, how long
awesome.
does it usually take for them to hatch out?
It's like 3 months. Yeah. So I had an issue where
Oh, okay.
I had them in a spot where it was too warm and they were popping out in 2 months. That was fast. I was like, man, these things
Okay.
are popping out really fast. But they came out. I talked to another breeder. They came out too small, and then they had because of that they had shedding issues. And the one
Yeah.
thing
Okay.
that I've learned from Europlatus, at least the Ebanawis, if you try to help them with their shed and it's stuck, because the first thing you're thinking is like, I'm gonna help these out. I'm gonna soak them in water and take the shed off of them because it's stuck on them. The minute you touch them with their shed, they're already stressed out. They're not gonna make it. They're not. You
Yeah.
got to kind of leave them alone. You can't handle these babies when they're stuck shed. Even adults. If I had an adult with stuck shed on there, I'm really, I'll spray them from a distance, but I'll try not to help pull it off because I don't know if it's the pulling. They're very delicate. You can hurt them really easily. They don't like to be
Yeah.
pulled or touched when they have their shed on them, so they can crash really fast. That's the only thing. So keeping the humidity levels good and the UVB and all those things uh, consistent, that they're not going to have any shedding issues. But if you're just outside those parameters, like too much heat, and they come out too early, they're not going to shed well, and they may not make it. They're very delicate. So that's one thing I would say is,
What do
you know,
you? Yeah.
yeah,
What are you putting them in? Like, so when they hatch out, what kind of enclosure are you putting
I
them
put
in?
them in
Since they're so
30.
small.
Yeah, I put them in 32-ounce deli cups. I don't put any substrate in
Okay.
there.
So like the
I
fruit
just
fly cups.
A fruit fly cup is perfect. And then I'm
Okay.
feeding them quarter-inch crickets. Or the first week you can
Okay.
give them like needle the really tiny crickets, the pinhead crickets. Um,
Pinheads. Okay.
yeah, just for like the first week or two, and then I give them quarter-inch size crickets that I order online. Yeah, so
Nice. Nice. It's,
Cool.
it's hard to find pinhead crickets where I'm at.
So
So it's like, all
that was
right,
my
let's see what
biggest,
we try to
yeah,
find
that was my
here.
biggest issue. Yeah, I was ordering pinhead crickets online, and they were coming dead because it was too cold, and I would have to
Ugh,
keep ordering them and keep
yeah,
ordering them, and keep ordering them. And then sometimes I would be on the phone for like an hour trying to get them to send me another. I'm like, did you just send me another? I need these like yesterday. Like I gotta feed my animals, right? So what I try to do is I try to feed them fruit flies, right? Because they're small and they're tiny,
hmm
and they would eat it. But the problem with fruit flies is they they would get in my dubia colonies and they would produce in there. I don't know how they get in there. I'm like, oh my goodness, I got fruit
Oh,
flies everywhere. So like I would have a fruit fly infestation. So I try to stay away from fruit flies as much as I can because these things they just go all over. You can't, and then they're there for months. And I'm cleaning out these dubia,
yeah,
cages weekly to try to control these things, man. But man, once you get a fruit fly out and they're breeding, man, you can almost make a business selling fruit flies at that point, man. That's how many come out.
yeah, for real.
I don't know if you guys ever had a fruit fly infestation, man. It's no joke, man. Those guys
Yeah,
they go crazy.
yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, they don't want to
Hell,
leave your
even the
room.
even the flies that I get from the like the crickets, like
Yeah.
since it's getting warm in Arizona now, so
Mm-hmm.
my crickets are dying off a lot faster, and then
Yeah.
all those little flies are popping out from them.
Yeah.
Dude,
This.
it's I have like little fly those little sticky fly tapes hanging
Yeah,
from my ceiling just to catch them. It's like getting tired of seeing them things.
man. They drive you
Are you
crazy, man.
mhm. Are you producing your own feeders, or are you
I just
always buying?
the dubios I do. I tried raising uh crickets. I didn't. I didn't. I didn't do so well with those things, man. I did. I
I
know
tried
that.
that one time.
Like no.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Yeah, I
smell
tried it
really.
one time and I produced them, but then
Yeah.
I end up killing them all because they all went to the hot side on the heat pad and all my
Yeah.
babies died. I was like,
Oh man.
forget this.
Yeah.
I'll just buy them.
It's just better to
They're
buy
cheap enough
crickets.
to buy,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
worth the
Yeah,
Just
headache.
buy
yeah.
them in bulk. It's so
It's
much
just
easier. Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Yeah. It's
something you
just
gotta
hard to
try.
find
Everybody
really
tries
small
out.
crickets.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
I thought
yeah.
about doing like
Yeah.
mealworms too, but I'm like, nah, just buy it. Everything's easier to buy sometimes. Now, if I had a giant
Yeah.
facility like some of these guys, maybe a room dedicated to growing, your own food probably be ideal.
Yeah,
The roaches are the
definitely.
expensive. If you could produce or have hold somewhat of a decent size, smaller size colony, that's the one that's like price efficient. The crickets are. I mean, I get 1,000 from Fluker Farms for $21. You
Mm,
know, and
yeah,
I've tried breeding them. It's so. I mean, you can do it, and I've done it, and I've hatched thousands of little babies. But to raise
Yeah.
it's so much
Yeah.
easier to buy.
Yeah, yeah.
it is.
Yeah, it's not
It
worth
is
it
easy.
in the end.
Definitely not. Unless you had to, like in Nelson's situation, where you have, tiny species that need a steady supply of tiny geckos, or tiny
Yeah,
crickets rather year, then it's obviously makes sense. But
yeah. I feed the
if
Cape Geckos the baby dubias, and I get those. Man, they produce a lot, so I have a constant supply for the cave geckos. And when the when the leaf tails are a little bit bigger, I put dubios in there all day, and it's for them to eat. So it's a nice. I just have
Yep.
one tub of dubios, and that I never run out ever. I never have to buy dubia roaches, ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
best
speaking
way
of
to
leaf
do it.
tails, do you give them like so for like your breeding female, do you give them snails or anything to help with that calcium?
you know what? I know people have done it, and I have that leaf tail gecko book that's really good, and they talk
Hmm.
about feeding them
Yeah, I have
those
that.
snails. But you know what? I've had luck so far, and I just haven't really looked into where I can buy the snails. I know some people buy them
Okay.
locally and stuff like that, but I haven't really. I want to do it because I think that's something that's natural in their diet are those
Yeah.
snails. But I haven't really actually looked into where I can buy some snails to feed them and stuff. But at some
It
point, I'll
works.
definitely. Yeah, you cut out
Okay.
I
there. I
would
didn't hear
now
you.
Huh.
Yeah.
But what I was about to say, I don't even remember no more. So I know you were talking about how you mix like bugs into your diet. Do you do anything else? Are you because I know some people kind of make half diet of crested gecko with whatever else they like to put in there. Are you doing any kind of your own homemade smoothies for your new cow stuff?
No, I'll just buy different flavors of the Rapashi and the Pangea stuff, and I'll mix it. I'll mix it here and there. So that
Yeah.
way, it's something new all the time. I don't just feed them the same flavor. So I think they do a good job of making a great product, and so I just mix it up for them. I just so if anybody,
Okay.
if I do when I do, because I need to start selling geckos at some point, because I got a room full of them. Um, and I just don't want to sell any of them. I go through the room with my daughters. I'm like, which ones are you gonna sell? I'm like, this one. No, I think I'll hold that one. Oh, let me sell this. No, no, I'm gonna hold that one. So it's like I can't. I don't know how much. I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know how people sell their geckos because I just have a room
Don't.
that keeps multiplying and
Don't.
multiplying. I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do? My wife's like, you gotta sell them
It's
at
all
some
about
point.
space.
Yeah. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I don't want
I have
to.
to sell because
Yeah,
I live in an apartment, so I have to sell because otherwise I'm gonna run out of space.
yeah.
Like I
Well,
said,
I'm right
I'm
there.
actually vending. Yeah, I'm vending a show in June. It's at a local reptile shop, so it's called like
Yeah.
our breeder showcase, where they showcase local breeders.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And I said, he's like, you got enough to fit like a 6 foot table? I was like, I should. We'll see what happens. I was like, I literally, I literally just had two Chihuahuas hatch out this week on top
Yeah.
of the Stropheres hatching out. Uh, so I should have plenty of inventory for the go ahead and try to
Yes.
move some geckos. I got my guy's gonna build me my display units now, so look a little
Oh,
professional.
nice. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, and that's and I want to get into vending shows so bad, like just to I want to have conversations with people. I
Yeah.
want to talk to people.
That,
I want to show people that there's more in this world than just
mhm.
like these set of geckos. Look at this gecko right here. Yes, it's small. It's really cool though. It's arboreal. It's arid. It's a arboreal leopard gecko. You just need some UV. That's all it really is, and
Yeah.
it's so simple to keep. You know, and then like I said, I got Cerdodactylus now as well, and they're pretty easy to keep. You know, it's not crazy heat, just a little bit of heat, like keep it in like the mid 80s on the warm side, cool on the other side, but they're really elegant and they're really beautiful. And
Yeah.
I want to show people these other geckos. You know, get their peaks interest as you know for something I want to do. Yeah,
Yeah. So this is your first
Totally.
show you're vending? That's the first one?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
This will be my first one.
How about you, Anthony?
Like I
Have
said it's
you
just in a little.
are you good at
No,
vending
I
too?
never. Uh, I'm still. I'm still trying to master my craft, if you will. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I won't think about getting rid of anything I make until I'm thoroughly confident that I've made something special. When I
I'm the
make something
same way,
special,
man.
you're gonna know.
Yeah.
So just once in a blue moon, I give away geckos. My wife or kids and families. I'll give stuff because not everything obviously we breed is really super special and worth keeping, but I also don't want to sell anything that I wouldn't want to keep. So I'm in a bit of a conundrum. But I one day it's definitely in the cards. Like I definitely love
Yeah,
talking. That's for damn sure. I can go to shows and would have a blast vending. But as far as my collection goes, we're not ready to unveil this to the world. I'm
No.
coming out with a like unveiling a Maybach. Like
Yes.
everything's gonna stop right, when I come out. So, and I don't mean to sound cocky, but it's just how I am. I'm an extremist. I want to master and conquer every venture I set out on. And I'm just
Yeah.
not really there yet. I'm on the way. I'm
Hmm.
producing things, learning things. Things are popping that I'm proving theories wrong every day. I'm coming. I'm coming. Just know that.
Yeah. I don't feel like I'm in a
so with
rush.
your caging, yeah,
Yeah.
And
with
no
your
rush.
caging, are you doing hybrid stuff or like are you strictly a bins person or are you strictly a cage person? What's your ratio with that?
So I've been mixing it up. I have the glass caging, the 12 by 12 by 18s that I use a lot. I've seen guys using those tubs that are from the
Container
container
store.
store. So I bought a couple of those
Yeah,
to see if I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence with those. Um, I did pick up the other ones from the container store where the front opening they look like the small shoebox size, but one size bigger, and they're really sturdy. Kind of
yeah,
really liking those a lot. Um,
yeah.
and then the shoebox ones for the babies are really nice. Uh, I did a video on that just because I make videos just for fun. It's not anything that I don't try telling people what to do or
Bro,
anything. It's just fun time.
makes
Just
fun
yeah,
geckos out there. They're like the
yeah, yeah,
funnest crest for me to watch. It's just, just brag it or not. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You never seen Nelson make a video about look at me. It's always us. It's hard to explain, man, but it's different. You get joy watching them, man. You don't have a video end and feel a certain type of way, man. You feel your potential. You feel confident. You feel included when his videos are done, man.
yeah.
It's just a different style. It's very organic, very natural, very do a real good job, man. Really,
Thank
you
you.
really do, man.
Yeah.
Because like I said, even the shoe, you admit and you show your flaws. You'll show like this one's not as good, but this one's better, or let's
Mhm.
try this. And it's just nice, man. It's refreshing. It's the
I,
almost the yeah. I can't put words to it, man.
so,
Just watch his video, guys.
but
Follow NC channel.
so what I do is I don't script anything. Okay, like so I'll make mistakes. I know I will, I think it's part of the video too. Like I like it. I like it being raw. And so when I do it, I want to. It's like I'm talking to you, like a friend, a longtime friend, right? Like, hey, look at this is what I did. This is what works for me. This is what I like. And so when I do the video, I don't even pretend like there's a camera there. I feel like I'm just talking to my daughter, which when I have her on there, or if I'm by myself, I'm like, what would I tell my friend? How would I talk to that person? So I'm like, here, look at this. This container is perfect. It works good. But look, there's a couple problems that I've seen with this thing. You know, or if I'm bringing on an animal I think is beautiful, maybe somebody else doesn't think beautiful, but I'll be like, look at the traits on this thing. I like the empty back on this. I like the way it looks. This is what I'm looking for. When I'm looking at a gecko. So it's not a video. My videos aren't, I don't have a specific agenda with any of my videos. It's just for me just to kind of, hey, look at, I love animals just like, somebody who loves their dog or cat or whatever it is. And I think these videos will show that, if you incorporate a kid or whatever into this, that you can have that same feeling with with a reptile, and people don't look at reptiles as something that you could really enjoy, but I really enjoy it, and so I want to share that with other people. So that's mainly what my videos are, is like, hey, look what I got. You're my friend. Look at this. This I got this gecko from Korea. These guys are really cool. I talked to David from Korea, and he's a really nice guy. We built a relationship. So everything I do is like I try to be inclusive with friends, and like, you're my friend and I want you to enjoy this as much as everybody else can enjoy. So I think that's what's the key to getting people to really enjoy this hobby, is to show them that it's not who has the best and who's doing the best this and that, or who has the bigger facility, or it's not about that. When you break it all the way down to the animal, it's the passion that you have working with these animals, and then you can open relationships with people. People relationships are very
yeah,
important too. You know,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely
so
need more
that
people like you in the hobby.
yeah,
I'm
I don't
telling you, Jan.
ever feel
Very special Nelson. I wanted you on from the beginning, dude. I'm telling you, dude. It's just a different type of person. You are a paragon of what we want this hobby to be. The smaller guy that doesn't have the big name, that's doing the amazing things for the hobby, man. You weren't gatekeeping when that whole thing happened with Korea. Dude, you were sharing. These other
yeah.
cats are out there getting sables and getting this and getting that, and like, oh, well, look what I got. And well, there's only a few people that are gonna have the capability of working with this gene, and well, hopefully what we find when we find what we find with this gene that we've been so lucky to be gifted with. It's like, dude, get out of here, man. Like, dude, can discover, the more people can experiment. Like
Mm-hmm.
stop gatekeeping. Share your knowledge. Share your passion. I'm out here sharing my love with you. Like
Yeah.
it's if you want a hobby to grow, which we all should do, right? Like imagine
Yes.
the reptile world being big as the dog or cat world. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
that's a billion
Yeah.
dollar industry. Like we should all want that. And the only way you
Yes.
get that is by talking, sharing, exploring with each other. Like this is how you build that. You don't
Mm.
gatekeep and say, "Oh, I had this from Korea, but I'm not telling you how." And well, I know a guy. He
Yeah.
doesn't like dealing with a lot of people. You know, I'm just someone that knows sometimes. It's like, man, you know,
I
you're
I tell
nothing like
everybody.
that. You're like, this is how we do it, guys. Korea's got a surplus of geckos. Let's get these genes over here. Like,
Yeah.
call David, contact Fetal. This is their website. Like, it's what we should all be like. We should all
Yes.
want everyone to do better. I
Yeah.
love when I see somebody just when someone does something amazing, I'll be the first one to tell you, dude, congratulations, top off. That is
Mm-hmm.
fire, man. Like,
Yes.
awesome. Awesome. You know, there's other people out there in podcasts that spend episodes bashing other people's collections. You know, it's kind
Yeah.
of crappy, you know.
Yeah. We
You know,
gotta build people.
subliminally bash what people are doing. Like, well, I wouldn't have done that, and well, I would have
Mm-hmm.
imported that, and that's really not what we're breeding. So we're on the cusp of having a lot of bad geckos in the hobby. And well,
Yeah.
when I started and I brought the first one, I'm
Yeah.
all that crap, man. Come on, sit
Yeah.
down, frat boy.
We gotta be open with each other. Yeah. We gotta share that
Yeah,
information
definitely.
because that's how everybody gets to the next level. Help each other
Your
out.
mistakes make
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
my mistakes help you progress. You know,
Exactly.
every
Yep.
mistake I
facts.
avoid one. It's
Yeah. It's hard to talk about mistakes
All
because
right.
people always want to be an expert at everything, but no one's an expert at anything.
Yeah,
You can't be. And
yeah.
once you
I
declare
think
being an expert, yeah, that you're gonna learn
yeah, so I
something.
think people don't like to show mistakes because they don't want to get bashed. You know,
Yeah.
they're afraid of that. Like, don't be afraid of that. Like
No.
said, like Anthony said, the mistakes we make is some that you're gonna learn from, right?
Hmm.
So I mean,
Exactly.
just don't hide anything. Just go ahead and come out, say what happened. Like I said, I had a Stropharis, my female Stropharis ciliaris got egg bound and
Hmm.
she passed away. Like, you know, because I was noticing a trend and like every time she's about to lay, she would get a little lethargic. And I just thought that was just part of her process. Um, and I noticed that when I had a certain UVB light on, she would not want to go to it. So it might have been some lack of UVB as well. I changed my UVB to a linear bulb instead of just a single little area. Um, and she started going under it more, but I think I was just too late on that. And next you know, she passed. She had the eggs in her still. I didn't try to do anything like cut her open and get the eggs or anything. I was like, she passed, she passed. Now I got to learn from this lesson. And I tell people all the time.
Absolutely. We had a guest on maybe 2 weeks ago. He lost, wasn't an Ebonalby, it was a spear tail, right? And he was posting videos and pictures on Facebook and ranting and raving about all of the calcium that he gave this gecko, and the gecko just died. Just today, listening to you say that overcalcifying him can kill him, I'm going to call him when we're done with this and I'm going to tell him that that's how his gecko died. He was showing pictures of his gecko's mouth open and the sacs were so big, but he's bragging about it like it couldn't be calcium deficient because it is. Nah, you just suffocated your gecko, dude. I just learned that
Yep.
from talking to somebody. Telling you, you overcalcified him and it killed him.
Hmm.
That's what people don't know. If you don't share your mistakes, people can't learn. This literally just happened live. I figured out why Buddy's gecko died from
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
to you, and you
Yep.
telling me about your successes and your failures. See,
Hmm.
that's exactly in the real time what we're supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
It's
Yep.
it's amazing.
Yep.
That's how his gecko died. The
Yeah.
gecko, he couldn't figure it. You know, he's like, I had it for this amount of time. I did this.
Hmm.
I'm giving him calcium on the bugs. It can't be that. I was so worried. You literally just OD'd your gecko on calcium, man. And no one
Yeah.
even, all the people, 100 and something comments, no one even came up with that. No one even suggested that it was the calcium. Everybody just said, oh, it's normal. Those sacs are normal. And the yellow is that. And the white on the tongue is postmortem this. And, you know, it was probably a parasite load and blah, 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 blah. the whole time I'm looking, you know, as I'm thinking, but I didn't know. And
Yeah.
I'll never forget lumps in the back of his throat. I'm like saying to myself, how the hell does that thing even eat a cricket, man? Like, how does it get
Yeah.
it down? But
Yep.
boom, that's what was
Hmm.
going on.
Yep.
Yep.
Crazy.
Well,
Well,
now
not
you
So
can.
crazy.
we hit.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that'll help everybody now. And it's
Lesson
something.
learned.
There's no you know you get these animals from the wild, or they import these things. They don't have instructions. We're all figuring this out.
No.
We're not scientists. So we
Oh,
gotta know what's working, what's not working. We gotta share that. We don't want a bunch of dead animals around. We want these things to be healthy and
Yeah.
thriving. We don't want that import market from the taken from the wild all the time. If we can captive bred these things successfully, that's going to be way better than having a bunch of dead animals come from the wild and no one's knowing how to take care of these things. So I think it's very important. So that's why this podcast that you're
Yeah.
doing, I think it's excellent. And that's why when you asked me to come on here, I was so honored. I was so happy that I'm like, yeah, I could share some stuff with you. I know you see a lot of gargs on my website and my Instagram and crested geckos, but man, I love leaf tails. I don't advertise it. I don't, and that's not. It's just because I feel like there's certain things that's fun to advertise. Like crested geckos are so much fun. There's a fun factor about that, but my passion is with gargs and with leaf tails. And there's other animals I want to get into in the future too. But space is limited. We only could do so much. But maybe one day I can have
Yeah.
that zoo. Maybe one day I can have that big facility.
no.
And I was just watching what was it, Sundown Reptiles. They came out he came out with a the guy does
Oh, the trap vlog.
yeah, the
Yeah, the
trap
Right.
trap
vlog.
vlog.
He did a Sundown.
Anthony, I sent you that. I
The
Yeah. So,
sent you that
man, his
link. Yeah.
facility is like a dream come true. I'm like, man, I can't. I
Yeah.
hope one day to have something like that. Like, you're just hoping. Here's the room. Here's my Chihuahua room or my Kahua room. Here's my monitor room, and here's my Conjo room. I'm like, oh my goodness, he got a room. I was like, that's what I want,
Yeah, he
man.
gets a
I'm
room
like,
for everything, right?
yeah. I was like, you got this room and
But
that
did
room,
you
and then
see his greenhouse?
his greenhouses. I'm like, this
Did you
guy
see?
is just like on another level with everything. I'm like, wow. Like, and I've met the guy. I actually have a gark from him. I bought it from him way
Yeah.
back, and I had no idea that this guy from Sundowns was just remarkable. Maybe that's somebody you should have on your podcast, because I'm pretty sure he knows. He's got a wonderful like knowledge from that he
Oh
can.
yeah, definitely.
He's been in the game for a long time too, and I had no idea.
Yeah.
he's
Like,
always,
yeah.
he does some natural stuff in South America. He's a guide. He's a guide in
No,
Costa Rica.
he used to.
Oh,
Yeah, he used to do that stuff. He used to go over to South America. He would do travel guides for people, stuff like
wow.
that. Now I think he's more home based because he helps his folks out with a was it like a concrete business or something like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, but no, he definitely. I had a nice conversation with him at Tinley in October, just
Yeah.
talking about Stropharis
I bet
because
he's
he has
got
some like
world renowned.
crazy
Yeah.
orange. Yeah, yeah. And his Chihuahua game was on point. I was like, man, like he
Went on
had
this
so many
website after watching it.
variations.
Yeah. I was like, I went
Yeah,
on the website just to see what he has available. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm gonna have to wait a little bit.
sold
I was
out,
like,
sold out, sold
wow.
out, sold out.
Yeah. I was like, oh my
Yeah,
goodness. And the prices for these things are crazy. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna go the old school route. I'm gonna build a Chihuahua or a Kuhua. I don't. What do you guys call it? Kuhua, Chihuahua? I don't know.
Oh,
I say
But I'll
Chihuahua.
build
That's
my
the
own.
first time I ever.
Oh, is it?
yeah.
Yeah, I call it Chihuahua, but I've been hearing
Yeah,
people call
I
it
should say
Chihuahua.
Chihuahua.
Okay.
That's the
Yeah,
truth. He did it right. He did
Yeah.
it. He didn't
Yeah.
start with.
No.
Why can't we? I'd rather start
Exactly.
from the bottom and work anything in life. I don't want to just be handed the crown. Let me
Yeah.
earn that shit,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Let me earn it. I want to earn it. I want to learn the lessons that it took to get there.
Yeah.
And that's why I did really personally what I did. Like I said, I saw that gecko and I just, not that I couldn't afford it, but I wasn't willing to spend that money on it. I wasn't willing to deal with the consequences of my wife for spending that much money on a gecko. So I found
Yeah.
a one. I'll make it.
Yeah.
They did it. They made it. I'm looking at what they did. So why can't I
Exactly.
make it?
Yep.
All these geckos started off with a little batch of geckos that all kind of look the same from the wild, right? They were selected
Exactly.
and picked through. gradually got better and better and better, and traits were selected and bred off, and they went different routes to get what we see today. Again, if they did it, we could do it.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah.
Spend 45
Yeah.
bucks on a baby Chihuahua. I could probably find some with some lineage that looks similar and put together a breeding program that makes something like that for 2,500.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've seen those
Yep.
the white shoulder ones, the ones that he had. Those are beautiful, but I like the reds. I saw some red Chihuahuas. And I'm like,
I'm
I
an
don't
orange
know if I
fan.
really need the white shoulders on it. I think the reds are fantastic with the greens, and I was like, man, those are so nice, right? Like
And
some
Yep.
beautiful.
And they starting to get different mutations as well. Well, at least in the
Yeah.
mainlands, you're getting mutations. You're getting Ryan McVeigh proved out the melanistic Chihuahua.
Oh man,
So he said he's working on the super form right now.
that's gonna be
So that's
amazing,
gonna be
dude.
interesting to see that. Yeah. Yeah. If mainlands get some oranges, I'm going into mainland
Oh
projects.
man, yeah, I agree.
That's the only way I'm getting into mainlands. I love orange. I don't know why. Like seeing orange on a reptile just does something for me. No,
Yeah.
just like everybody else will know, they see like a red or they see something else. Orange is my
Mhm.
color.
it's a
Beautiful.
beautiful color,
So
man.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
beautiful.
So if you had the space, what's the next uh gecko or reptile you would want to get?
Oh, so it's a little bit. I always thought about that. I was like, somebody's gonna ask me this one day. Um, if I had the space, I would get a fly river turtle. Pignose
Nice.
turtles, what they call them. When I
Yeah,
used
yeah,
to work
yeah.
at the pet store a long time ago, when I was younger, when I was like in my young days, the owner had a pair of those pignose turtles or the fly river turtle, and I admired that thing day after day every time I used to go to work, and I dreamt of owning one of those one day. But they need a lot of space. They need a lot of swimming space. They
Yeah.
need everything, and
I was,
I absolutely did. What's that? You
I
cut
was
out.
hearing something like 9 gallons for one river turtle, flying
Yeah.
river
Whew.
turtle.
Hmm.
Might as well
Yeah,
give them a pool.
they're amazing. Yeah. So they look like sea turtles for freshwater. You know,
Yeah.
they're absolutely so. That is like my one day when I have maybe I'll live in Florida or wherever and I could put them in a pond or something. But I think if I could attain if there's one animal that I could attain one day, just because it brings me back to that time where I really wanted one, as a kid. A fly river turtle is one of my dream animals for sure. But if it
Nice.
wasn't a fly river turtle, it would be, and any New Caledonian species. I know they have a whole bunch of them. I want to touch on base on all of them, but it everything in time, in due time, I can, we can go there. But a dream animal would definitely be the fly river turtle, which is weird
Awesome.
because it has
Nice.
nothing.
I
I
like
don't have
that.
anything like that. I don't have any turtles or anything. So, but
What's
Hey.
cool is you have the means to buy just about anything you want and you don't have one, which means you respect the care that they need. You don't just go out
yeah,
and impulse buy one because you
mm-mm.
could.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's very, very responsible, very
yeah.
cool.
I would want
Yep.
it like a naturalistic for sure. I don't want to just
Mhm.
throw it in I don't even think a 150-gallon
Not
tank
a
would be sufficient for something like that. It'd be
you're gonna have
like
to
a
get some
pond or
custom
something.
done.
Yeah, something custom, something
Yeah.
nice. It'd definitely be something that I would. It would be
Like
yeah. It would
like
the
Camp Kennan style, right?
exactly like the the enclosure would have to meet or exceed the expectation of that turtle. Like it would have to be like zoo quality.
Yeah.
Like that's why I don't have one because I would want it. I don't want it just to have it. I want it with everything, with the water and the plants and
Yeah.
whatever it is and naturally and how it comes from whatever part of the world it comes from. Uh, it would have to mimic that perfectly. That's why I probably would never probably have one. Not for a long time. Maybe when the kids are out and they moved out and Daddy, what do you want? My last wish is please give me a White River turtle with everything in. Maybe they'll do that for me when I'm old.
Hey, we can dream, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. All right. So we're about to head out. We're about an hour and some change in this thing. So I gotta go Uber. I need to make some money.
Oh, you gotta
Um,
make the gecko money.
so yeah, I always say that too. Got to make
Yeah,
my gecko money. That's
gotta make
Uber is
that
my
gecko
gecko
money.
money right there.
Yeah,
Yep. So tell where can everybody find you? Um, all your socials. You have YouTube, is right,
I
as
do
well,
have
right?
YouTube. Yep, everything's NCG,
Okay.
NCG Reptiles. So if
Okay.
you punch that in anywhere on the internet, you'll find me. If you want to actually get a
Okay.
hold of me, Instagram, NCG Reptiles. I get questions all the time. I get import questions constantly all the time, and I'll
Yeah.
help anybody out. I'll tell you what it is that you need to know. So Instagram, you send me a message and I'll let you know, whatever it is that if I can help you out with something. If there's something that I mentioned on this, podcast that you want me to touch on, or anybody has any questions, I'm always here. Just hit me up. If it's at 1 o'clock in the morning, I may not return your call or respond, but I'll get back to you the next day for sure. I got a couple of people message me at like
Nice.
2, 3 in the morning. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, okay, I'll message them the next day for sure. So
Nice. Well, it was
yeah,
definitely. I was happy to have you on.
Uh,
Dude, you have so much knowledge. Knowledge is crazy, man. Like
yeah,
people would really need to hear this and gain that. Just gain that experience of just hearing like what you went through, and they could put it towards what their geckos or their any of their animals.
yeah,
Especially that talking about the going to the vet and one hemi
mhm,
peen. People can learn from
yep,
all that.
yes,
So
yep,
definitely appreciate you coming on, man.
great
man.
teacher,
Yeah,
great teacher, great
it's
asset
been
to
an
the
honor,
hobby.
man.
Yeah,
You guys are teaching me, man. Yeah, you guys are awesome, man. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to have met you guys. I hope to, that we keep in contact with each other. I love you guys from, the
definitely.
reptile hobby. You guys are great, man. I like what you're doing. I'm going to support you guys 100%. Whatever you guys need.
I appreciate
Thank you.
it so
I
much.
appreciate it. I thank
Yeah.
you more than you're
Said
thanking me. This helps me out a lot too. When we help each other out and we build each
appreciate
other,
that.
it's those moments when you're grinding, you're like, man, this is hard work, because it is hard work, guys. And you meet good people, both of you guys, it makes it all worth it. The hard work and going through those
Yeah,
headaches and figuring out these animals and sharing these things and people appreciate that. I appreciate it more. You guys don't understand how much more you're doing for me. If I do anything for you, that's perfect. But you guys really, this helps me
You
out a
deserve,
lot. It drives me.
deserve it.
It keeps me going one more day, man. You guys are amazing. Thank you.
That's awesome, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
thanks. All
All right,
right.
guys.
It
It
is a
was a great
wrap.
episode.
Yeah.
Again, Nelson said it himself, but if you're not following him, check him out on every platform. NCG Reptiles.
Yeah.
The man is a plethora of knowledge, man. I mean, he's been through it all, seen it all, breeds it all. Reach out to him. Don't bother him. Don't harass him. Communicate. You're definitely and headed in the right direction, guys. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you giving us our time and your support. Um, if you're breeding or you're doing anything special for the hobby, man, give us a shout, man. See if we can get you on.
Definitely. Yeah. Peace.
Peace.
Merc.
Thank you. Over and out.